Did you know about the new $600 threshold for taxation on third-party payment apps? Welcome to the world of taxation, where the rules are ever-changing and can often catch us off guard. The latest addition to this labyrinth is a new tax regulation that introduces a $600 threshold for transactions made via third-party payment apps. Yes, you heard it right, $600. This new norm was introduced with the intention to level the playing field between businesses that operate on digital platforms and those that run their operations offline. It's part of an effort to ensure that all income, regardless of how it's earned, is reported and taxed accordingly. But what exactly does this regulation entail? Well, it applies to all transactions that exceed a total of $600 in a calendar year. This includes sales of goods and services, but also extends to other financial exchanges. Essentially, if you're using apps like Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App to receive payments that total more than $600 over the course of a year, you might need to brace yourself for a tax bill. Now here's the catch. This isn't just about business transactions. This regulation also applies to personal transactions. So if you're someone who frequently uses these apps to split bills, lend money, or exchange funds with friends and family, this could potentially affect you too. Platforms affected by this new rule include, but are not limited to, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and Zelle. These platforms will now be required to report to the IRS any users who have received more than $600 in a year. This new rule has stirred up quite a discussion. It's a game changer for sure. But what does it truly mean for you? How can you navigate this new taxation terrain without getting lost? Well, stick around as we delve deeper into the specifics of this regulation and explore strategies to keep your hard-earned money in your pocket. Let's delve deeper into what this could mean for you. And don't forget to subscribe for more financial wisdom. The devil is in the details, especially when it comes to taxes. Let's delve into the specifics of this $600 threshold. The first thing to understand is that this limit isn't about individual transactions. Rather, it's about the aggregate total of transactions within a calendar year. So if you've made multiple transactions throughout the year, they're all added up. Once you hit that $600 mark, the tax implications kick in. But why is important? To answer that, let's think about who uses these third-party payment apps. For many of us, it's just a convenient way to split the bill at dinner or send a quick gift to a friend. But for small businesses and freelancers, these apps are a crucial part of their income stream. They might use them to invoice clients, accept payments for goods or services, or even pay their own bills. In the past, these small transactions might have flown under the radar. But with this new tax norm, they're all being tallied up, and every dollar counts towards that $600 threshold. Now, this might seem like a big change, and it is, but it's also important to remember that this isn't an additional tax. It's simply a change in reporting. The IRS wants to know about these transactions, and they're using this $600 limit as their benchmark. So, what does this mean for small businesses and freelancers? It means they need to be more mindful about their transactions. They need to keep track of their income, their expenses, and their overall financial picture. It's not just about avoiding taxes, but about being savvy and strategic with their finances. And what about the rest of us? Well, even if you're not a small business owner or a freelancer, this new tax norm can still affect you. If you frequently use these apps for personal transactions, you too could potentially hit that $600 mark. So what happens if you cross the $600 mark? Let's find out. Don't forget to subscribe for more financial wisdom. Crossing the $600 threshold isn't the end of the world, but it does come with its own set of responsibilities. Take a moment to fathom the implications of crossing this line. It's not about punishment or penalty. It's about understanding the rules of the game and playing by them. When you cross the $600 threshold on third-party payment apps, you are stepping into a realm that requires detailed record-keeping. This means tracking every transaction meticulously. Every cent you send or receive matters. Remember, Uncle Sam is watching and he appreciates transparency. Now you might ask, why all this fuss over a few $100s? Well, crossing this threshold could potentially increase your tax liability. In layman's terms, you might have to pay more taxes. This is because the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, considers these transactions as income. Yes, you heard it right. The you receive through these apps could be subject to income tax. But don't fret just yet. This isn't a one-sided story. Just as you are required to keep of your transactions, the third-party payment platforms are also obligated to report these transactions to the IRS. They do this by issuing a form called This form details the gross amount of all reportable payment transactions. It's like a ledger, a record of your activities on the platform. The IRS uses this information to cross-check your self-reported income, ensuring that everything adds up. So what's the bottom line here? Keep detailed records, anticipate a potential increase in tax liability, and remember that the platforms are reporting to the IRS on your behalf. But what if the money you're sending or receiving simply between family and friends? Should that be taxed too? Stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe for more financial wisdom. Money exchanged between family and friends is a common occurrence, but how does this new rule affect these transactions? Picture this. You're sending your college-going daughter her monthly allowance or splitting the bill with friends after a Friday night out. These transactions are typical, and they add up over time. But does that mean you'll be taxed? Well, the answer is both yes and no. Let's delve into how the IRS distinguishes between business transactions and personal transactions. The IRS lays out clear guidelines that differentiate between the two. Essentially, business transactions are those that contribute to your income or profits. These could be sales from your online store, freelancing fees, or any other form of income. On the other hand, personal transactions are those that don't contribute to your income. This category includes sending money to family or friends, splitting expenses, or repaying loans. These transactions aren't considered taxable income. So, when you send your daughter her allowance or split a dinner bill, you're in the clear. But here's a word of caution. While the IRS does not tax personal transactions, it's important not to misuse this provision. The IRS has sophisticated systems to detect if someone is trying to pass off business income as personal transactions. If you're caught doing this, the consequences can be severe, including heavy penalties and even potential legal action. So, what can you do to stay safe? It's simple. Just be honest. Keep your business and personal transactions separate. Use different accounts if you need to. And remember, if you're unsure whether a transaction is personal or business, it's always better to err on the side of caution. When in doubt, consider it a business transaction and report it accordingly. In conclusion, while the new $600 threshold may seem daunting, it doesn't necessarily mean your personal transactions will be taxed. As long as you're clear about the difference between personal and business transactions and you're not trying to cheat the system, you should be just fine. So, it's crucial that you understand the difference between personal and business transactions. Don't forget to subscribe for more financial wisdom. Now that we've uncovered the complexities of this new rule, how can you navigate it effectively? Well, let's dive in. One of the best strategies to maneuver the $600 threshold is to keep meticulous records of all transactions. Whether you're sending money to your nephew for his birthday or receiving funds from a client for a freelance gig, make sure to jot down all the details. By doing this, you'll have a clear paper trail, making it easier to distinguish between personal and business transactions. Speaking of distinguishing transactions, it's crucial to clarify the nature of each transaction. Are you getting paid for a service or product, or is it simply a gift between friends? By separating your personal transactions from business ones, you can potentially steer clear of unnecessary taxation. Remember, money exchanged between family and friends typically falls under the category of personal transactions and is not subject to taxation. Now, what if you're unsure about a particular transaction? Or perhaps the whole taxation process seems overwhelming? That's where a tax professional comes in. They can provide invaluable guidance, helping you navigate the ins and outs of this new rule. While it might seem like an extra expense, their expertise can save you from costly mistakes and unnecessary stress in the long run. But maybe you're thinking, I don't run a business or do freelance work. This doesn't apply to me. Well, think again. Even if you're just using your payment app to split the dinner bill with friends, these transactions can quickly add up. So it's important to keep an eye on your transactions, regardless of their nature. And lastly, stay informed. Tax laws are constantly evolving, and staying up to date with the latest changes can help you avoid any unexpected surprises. There are plenty of resources online, and don't forget to consult with a tax professional if you have any doubts. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay prepared, and you'll be able to navigate this new taxation landscape with confidence. And don't forget to subscribe for more insightful financial wisdom.